All right, welcome to the Contractor Sales Academy podcast. Steve, Derek, what's up, guys?
It's living the life over here, man. I am living the life.
See, Steve is on purpose. I can see him on camera right now. He's zipping his lips because well, actually, it's about time he shut the fuck up. But anyway, so we were talking off air before we hit record. We talk frequently about these things. There's tons of, I don't know how many salespeople there got to be in the trades, but millions, right? And over the years, not that we've spoken to every single one of them and dealt with every single one of them, but as coaches, as consumers, and everything in between, we've kind of come up with a couple of the top mistakes that we see most salespeople make that sell contracting services, probably any service, to be honest with you. And so we were going to talk about that today because this is really low hanging. This is an easy fix. If you want to sell more right now, I think you cure these two issues, and I'd be very surprised you weren't making more money in the next 14 days. So guys, what we come up with? There's a bunch, but we have our top two.
So let me start, Derek, with the story that happened to me today. I have my HVAC company got bought out by another company who totally sucks. So now I'm interviewing two HVAC companies just to come in here and assess what I got and take over the service. Now I got a water furnace geothermal. So you got to know, you got to be a geothermal guy to understand my system. So this guy that called me today, the second one, what I really want is just someone to come in here, inspect my system, fix whatever's got to get fixed, and take over the service. That's all I want. The conversation could have been under 5 minutes, but it was 25 minutes. Because this guy, from start to finish, just kept throwing up on me, telling me how great his knowledge was about the geothermal HVAC industry and all the, not just problems, but the litany of potential problems my system could have or has had. And the whole time I'm like, I wish he would just do two things. One, shut the hell up. And two, ask me what I want.
Yeah.
And we could have been done. It's just like, come out here, inspect it, fix it, and take it over. That's all I want. I don't want to know inter workings of some PSI bullshit inside of this fucking box. But my head is killing me, my leg is killing me, and I'm like, oh God, just please shoot me.
Well, so we need to add the third thing in there. So it's one, stop throwing up on people. Shut your mouth, basically. Shut your mouth. And then ask them what they need. What would you like us to do when we come out there? So I'm going to add the third one. And then once you find out, by keeping your mouth shut and asking them what they need, tell them how much it's going to cost. Just close. Just bracket it. Just get it close. And that's when Tommy say you could probably close more deal in 14 days. You can. Because It's like, okay, Steve, how about this? Steve, you got a thermal system in your house, right?
Yep.
What do you need us to do?
I just so you come in, inspect it, so you can give me an understanding what repairs I got to do to bring it up to snuff. And then I want you to take over the twice a year service after that.
Okay, we can definitely do that. So when we inspect this stuff and we find a problem and it's going to cost X amount of dollars, how do you want to proceed from there?
Well, if you take credit cards, I'll just give you one of those and I want you to fix it. I want to get up to snuff and have you take over my service.
Okay. So let's just say, for instance, getting you up to snuff could cost as much as $5,000 because we've had instances where that's happened just in an inspection. Is that okay?
Yeah, no, whatever it takes. I paid $88,000 about 8 years ago to put this goddamn thing in. I'm not worried about $5,000.
Okay. Would you be worried about 20 grand?
Well, I'm not going to be happy, but I just want to do what I have to do to make it right. I'll spend what I got to spend to make it right.
Okay. So we do have a little site visit. It's $250 to come out, just see what's going on. We'll make recommendations. If we can do the repairs while we're there, we'll give you that price list. Are you okay with moving forward?
I'm okay with moving forward.
Perfect. Can we see it 2 o'clock today?
Sure.
Yeah, that
Thanks.
was less than 3 minutes. Okay, so let's talk about here's I'll give you the opposite. Here's the opposite real quick. Steve calls, ring, ring. This is Tom's geothermal company. How can I help you?
I need someone to inspect, fix, and take over my HVAC system.
Well, Steve, you've called the right company. We've got 32 years of experience. In fact, we won Chamber of the Commerce Business of the Year in 2008, 9, and 10. We've got this certification, and this certification. How did you find us?
I just Google.
Okay, you probably saw a lot of reviews because we have a lot of happy customers and people think that we're really amazing and blah. So that's obviously I'm playing for the effect here, but that's in essence the difference, guys. And so what I want to talk about is we talk about ourselves, we puff ourselves up, we don't ask what they want. What's that rooted in? What do you guys think? Let's get to the root of it. Where's that come from?
I believe it comes from insecurity. Whenever somebody has to talk about themselves, and this is not just business, but we're talking business, but socially at a party, you get the freaking jerk, male or female, and all they want to do is turn everything into them, talk about themselves. That is rooted in insecurity. Let me tell you how great I am, because maybe one day I'll actually believe myself.
It's like the one-upper. Remember on Saturday Night Live, there was the one-upper character? I went to an NBA game once. I actually hung out with Michael Jordan, a couple times.
I had dinner with Michael Jordan last night, by the way.
Yeah. Well, I made him eggs for breakfast this morning. So it was,
So here's this, as I'm listening to this and we're going through this stuff, this is what Shinfu has done for me. I know now when I interact with anyone, it's not about me. Whoever I'm speaking with, it's about them. Whether I'm come to see a client knocking on their door, it's not about me. And I proceed that way. When I show up on a job site, I'm actually on the job site with the team today working on them. 2 reasons. One, it's 77 degrees, 0 humidity. There's not a cloud in the sky. It's absolutely beautiful. And I just want to be in the field hanging out with the team. So what did I do when I got here? I just asked them how they were doing. You guys need anything? And I was going to go get a juice. And I said, you guys want anything? But I think that way now. I didn't used to think that way. Like, it's just, what might they need? And then a conversation opens up. But it's really, when you understand this stuff, like what Steve's saying, if that company would just go, hey, thanks for calling because we're an HVAC company. Evidently, you need our services. So what is it that you need? Because we would love to help you. Tell us. Like, who does that? Who shows up and just shakes your hand and just says, tell me about your day. Oh, really? That's amazing. Tell me more about that. Oh, how is she doing? Tell me more about your wife. People just don't do that. But that's where I'm at now is when I come in contact with any other person, it's just like, man, I know they have a story to tell or something to get out. And I know if I listen to them, 2 things are going to happen. They're just going to have a better day, and I'm potentially going to make a better connection with them, or potentially it might be a sale in that respect.
Yeah. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, it's just amazing how this journey of roughly 7 years now puts me in this place. And why we have this podcast and what we're really trying to share with people is just slow down and find out about the other person. Change your business and quit making it about you. Make it about the other people, and then it actually will be about you. Because you can write a check for whatever the fuck you want. If you just make other people feel important using integrity and character.
This whole thing about Steve, they never asked you what you wanted. They went on and on and on. I want to be clear here that there is a time and a place to show our expertise. You know what I mean? Like why we're the real deal. And I know both of you guys do this. I do. This is why your website is so important. The content that you put out, because it builds expert status. But, you know, this is even about learning a word track or two when you're on the phone with somebody, and it might go like, you know, Derek, you might want us to come out and do this HVAC thing or whatever it is. And instead of going, you know, hey, we're this, like Steve, it took 25 minutes instead of 5. It could have been solved by a simple question like, hey, Derek, do you want to get rolling on this, or is it important to you to talk a little bit about some of our qualifications and stuff? What makes the most sense for you right now? What questions do I have for you? You can accomplish the same thing, but you're giving them the opportunity to bring it up instead of, you know, just dumping it all on them. And so, and I want to be clear, like there are consumers out there that want to know that you have qualifications. Like if somebody's going to come work on my electrical panel or something, I want to make sure they're not going to burn my damn house down. You know what I'm saying? So there might be some things that are important, but instead of just going, hey, we're all awesome in this and this and this, Derek, what questions can I answer for you about our company and our services? Anything jumping out at you right now?
Yeah, Tom. It's my biggest thing right now is I need to get this done and timeline. So I've already done the reviews and I've checked you out. I know you're good. I just want to know if you can come out and help me and how much it's going to cost. That's all I really want to know.
So right there, we avoided how many minutes, right? Me running my mouth as a salesperson with something that's not important to you right now. That's what really this is happening here when you allow them to talk about themselves and their needs and things like that. So that was the first mistake that we see a lot and the other, well, it's funny. Let me tell you, I was on a podcast yesterday and I told this story, so it's fresh in my mind. Many, many years ago, I started my painting company and I'm standing in this lady's house. I can remember it like it was yesterday because I was so embarrassed. And because I didn't ask good questions, because I was a young business owner, because I was insecure and I was trying to win the job and make myself look good, I was like, we were standing there and I was talking about, yeah, we're really high quality and high quality and high quality. And I look at the wall and there's a paint booger dried on the wall from the last paint job, like roller lint and stuff. And I go, for instance, whoever painted this wall has absolutely no pride in anything they do. And she looks at me and she goes, I painted that wall. I did not get the job. So,
yeah.
So anyway, the second thing that we see a lot, big mistake, is quite frankly, we just don't shut up. That simple. And we don't shut up because silence is uncomfortable. That was 8 seconds. That was 8 seconds. And that feels like an eternity. I knew what I was doing there. You guys knew what I was doing there. And it still felt like a damn eternity.
Mm-hmm.
And
I still question it. I know what you're doing. I'm going, wait. No, we're good. We're still live.
But it's, you know, I think I want to share an example where silence ended up benefiting. I was silent on accident once on the phone with a customer. And I said the price, whatever it was, 12 grand, 15 grand or whatever. And when I said it, I had just like taken a drink of something and it went down the wrong pipe. And so I like muted my phone and I like coughed. So I didn't say anything after I said the price. And then I unmuted myself and probably 8 or 10 seconds went by and they were like, okay, that works. Let's do it. You know? And it was like, I was like, man, I need to choke more often. And what I would have done, I'll tell you what I would have done had I not choked on the water or whatever I was drinking, I would have been, yeah, Steve, it's $12,000, you know, and we're, you know, blah, blah, blah. Now you start justifying, or now you're making assumptions that, and what I found also a lot of times is when you shut up, just because somebody else is quiet, they haven't said anything, if we're talking price, doesn't mean that they have a problem with the price. I had a guy one time, I said the price and he was quiet and I said, is everything okay? And he goes, yeah, I'm just trying to figure out which account I'm going to pull it from. So it's that simple.
My stepdad retired from the largest trucking manufacturing company in the world. He was the top regional sales manager there. Top guy. And I'll never forget going to my grandmother. She wanted to get a new car, so I just tagged along, and my stepdad was going to do the negotiating. So we're in there, they're going through the stuff, and he made an offer, and the salesman made a counter offer, and my stepdad just stayed quiet. And I just kind of looked over. It was like 2 minutes. I'm not kidding.
You're like freaking out for him, aren't you?
Oh, it's like, what's going on here? And then my grandmother, she's like, it's just awkward and I don't remember what the deal was, but it was a better deal. And the salesman was like, my God, what is going on here? And even at, you okay? And he'd just stare at him. He'd look in his left eye and he'd just stare at him. And this was like 20 years ago. But it all ties into, here's the guy, top sales dude, and he's a very quiet individual anyway, of that trucking manufacturer. And go figure, rarely ever does he. Now, what he will do is when it's time to turn on, he will. And if you want to know about bearings and spindles and smokestacks and whatever that shit, he'll tell you. But until then, nothing.
Sorry, I got alerts going off on my computer here. So, Steve, you're awfully quiet while we're talking about shutting up. I can't help but think that's on purpose.
No, but we've talked about this many times. But if you don't learn really one thing on this planet is to learn in every setting, learn how to shut up. And if you can proceed that with like maybe a half-assed smart question, that's even better. But just stop and listen. I mean, what Derek was talking about is this salesman probably is looked at as the world's best salesman, but he never says anything. He just shuts up. And it's like you said, Tom, it's uncomfortable for the other person. The silence will get filled. Some human's going to fill the silence. And if you can come up with 10 seconds of courage, and it's normally not that, it's like 6 seconds of courage, the other person's going to fill it. And there's an old IBM adage 40 years ago. This is a mantra they had, that the first person that speaks loses in a negotiation. So, and that's really rings true today. If you stay quiet, the first person who speaks generally will lose that negotiation process.
It's kind of like a game
that works.
It's like chicken.
Right. That's a great one if you want to save your marriage.
It doesn't work in marriage only because as a salesperson, and I'm speaking from my own life, I can actually control my emotions when I'm selling to a customer. I have a harder time controlling my emotions when I'm arguing with my wife. Therefore, I can't, So
True.
It's funny.
Well,
Warren Buffett says the most successful investors in the world are the ones that can control their emotions.
Yeah.
In other words, they're not running scared. They can ward off fear and greed. They can hold it at bay and make the right rational decision and not freak out. And when we want to talk, our go-to default is to just spew about us. When in fact, what is the greatest word on this planet to anybody is their name. Just let them talk. Let them be known. I like Derrick's talk, this thing that what is, you and I learned this in Cleveland together, Derrick, about the sign. Imaginary sign. Tell us about the sign.
Yep. Everybody is wearing an imaginary sign that says, "Make me feel important." And if you can see that sign in everybody that you speak with, I'm telling you, and I've told this story before, I'll make the super short version. Cabo Ammonium, having a conversation with the guy, and I wanted to know about two things. One, the pond that they built. Two, the marketing thing they did. And I sat on the edge of my seat and listened to the whole thing and asked about 3 questions. It went an hour. couple of days later, we're all saying goodbye, and he came up and said, Derrick, that was the best conversation I ever had. And it took me a second to figure it out, and I went, son of a bitch. He talked the whole time, and I think I said 3 words, and the only other one was probably, tell me about the marketing thing, because he exhausted himself on the pond building. And I truly was enthralled with what he was saying. I was so curious. I really wanted to know about this stuff, and I didn't understand that this was the power of that until leaving. Best conversation I ever had. And I'm going, dude, we were partying, we were hanging out, we were all having fun. How in the hell? What did I say? Nothing. I just asked him to tell me about him. True story.
Well, I guess the big challenge here today for everybody listening to this, and what's exciting, like I said at the top, this is low-hanging fruit. This isn't like any ninja, anything that you really have to, be extra intelligent to figure out. Dig into the other people. This is why step 1 is the motive, right? Dig into other people's stuff, their motive, their pain, their pleasure, whatever, instead of you. Make them the priority, and then be quiet. Like, those are 2 things that really require no special talent, unless I'm missing something here, because I know the 3 of us here, I don't think are specially talented in intelligence and things like that, high IQs. But it's just but I would also say that these 2 things, and this is where I'm going to kind of hammer it home here. This is really hard to pull off on your own when you're not in an environment where other people are role playing with you and mentoring and helping and this and that. And you're damn right, it's a plug for our bridge program, because we see it over and over, guys, right? The people that succeed and make more money are the ones that practice and they learn how to do this shit. And the ones that don't practice. So it's just, you could take the 3 of us out of the bridge right now, give it to somebody else, and this would still hold true. Those that get involved and practice with the other members and role play and all that other stuff will win bigger. It's that simple. Anything on that before we get out of it?
I can't tell you how many times that I've heard someone say, it just flew out of my mouth. I practiced it so many times. I role played so many times. When, we talk about you rise to your highest level of training, and it will. You're going to get pushed in that corner, and that customer is going to say that one thing, and you know what? You're going to turn around and you're going to kick out the fucking wall, because they can't back you in a corner. You know how to circumvent. You know how to adapt. You know how to overcome. You're not going to go over it. You're not going to go under it. You're not going to go around it. You're going to go through it, and it's going to come out of your mouth, and they're going to go yes or no. But you can't do that without repetition, because you become the people that you hang out with the most. It just is what it is. And if you hang out with people that are great at sales, that's fantastic. You're probably gonna be a great salesman. If you hang out with people that are just great at anything, but also if you hang out with people that suck at stuff, you're gonna suck. But if you don't hang out with anybody, well, what are you then?
If you're listening to us right now, you are searching for something. Something's missing, something's not right, something's not working. The next step is just don't go listen to a bunch of different podcasts. Now you got to do something. Now you have to inject yourself in a place that helps you do what we're talking about, because you can't do this shit on your own. I mean, it's near impossible to do on your own. And that's why we bring up, go to the Contractor Sales Academy, join the group, and do something about what's missing in your life.
There you go.
Prove us wrong.
Yeah. We have stories about that, don't we? But anyway, that's for another time. So guys, appreciate you hanging out here with me today. Thanks for listening to us. Head to contractorsalesacademy.com. Check out what we got going. If you haven't already done so, we'd appreciate a review and share this with another contractor so that we can all get better together. And with that, we will talk to you all next time.